Imagine opening your eyes not to the ceiling of your bedroom, but to the vast, open sky, painted in hues of orange and pink by the rising sun. The air is cool, but you know the heat will soon be relentless. You are one of them, a hominin, perhaps an Australopithecus afarensis, walking upright on two legs, standing no more than 4 feet tall. Your brain is only about a third the size of a modern human's, but it is a marvel of ingenuity and adaptation. Your group moves together, a cluster of vigilant eyes and ears, constantly scanning the horizon, the tall grass, the shadows under the trees. Eagerly, you reach up, your long arms and dexterous fingers, so similar to our own, perfectly suited for plucking the soft fruit. You take a bite. It's not a leaf rustling in the wind. It's a pattern. Our profound, almost instinctual fear of snakes isn't just a modern phobia. It's a deeply ingrained evolutionary memory. For millions of years, a single, careless moment while reaching for a piece of fruit could mean a painful, venomous death. It's believed that this very pressure, the need to distinguish a ripe fruit from a green one, a patterned snake from a dappled leaf, was one of the driving forces behind the evolution of our superb primate vision. You strip off the leaves with your fingers, maybe break it to the perfect length. This is tool use in its most fundamental form. A mouthful of termites is packed with fat and protein, a savory, energy-dense power snack that is crucial for survival and, perhaps, for feeding the ever-growing energy demands of a developing brain. The group shares in the harvest, each member taking turns with a prepared tool, a quiet, cooperative effort. This is sustenance earned, not just through luck, but through intellect and patience. The day is wearing on. You've found fruit and insects. You've dodged death in the form of a snake. You have, for now, answered the question of what's for dinner. But the sun is beginning its descent, and the most dangerous time of day is yet to come. The easy meals have been found, but your stomach still isn't full. Now, the real search begins for the hidden foods that require more work, more knowledge, and carry even greater risks. It's the simple, brilliant act of seeing an object, not just for what it is, but for what it can become. You approach the mound cautiously, find a small opening, and gently insert your modified stick. You wait. You can feel the faint vibrations of the insects inside. When you pull the stick out, it's swarming with termites. We didn't just evolve to find the prize, we evolved to spot the peril guarding it. A geometric, repeating pattern of diamond scales that your brain is hardwired to recognize and fear. A puff adder, thick and perfectly camouflaged, lies coiled on the very branch you are about to grasp. Your heart hammers in your chest. A single, sharp alarm call erupts from your throat, and the entire group freezes, then scatters back from the tree. The explosion of sweetness is pure bliss. It's the fuel your body and your growing brain so desperately crave. For a few moments, there is only the pleasure of the meal, the relief from hunger. The sugar rush was a start, but it won't sustain you. You spot a termite mound, a magnificent clay cathedral rising from the savanna floor. To a modern person, it's just a feature of the landscape. To an early hominin, it's a treasure chest. But how to get inside? You can't simply punch through the sun-baked clay. This is where the hominin mind, that crucible of innovation, begins to shine. You need something more. You need protein and fat. And for that, you look down. The upright stance that frees your hands is also your salvation, allowing you to peer over the grasses and spot danger from afar. But the real dangers are often much closer. Your family, your small troop, is stirring around you. There are no words as we know them, just a complex language of gestures, grunts, and calls. But the meaning is clear. The gnawing emptiness in your stomach is a universal language. It is time to find food. The world you inhabit is a vibrant, sprawling landscape. It's a patchwork of open grassland, dotted with acacia trees, and pockets of denser woodland clinging to the edges of rivers and streams. This is not a safe place. This is a world of giants and predators, a world where you are not at the top of the food chain. But it is also a world of opportunity, a vast, natural larder. If you know where to look and how to survive the search, the first order of business is energy. Quick, accessible energy to fuel the foraging to come. And the most immediate source for that is sugar. Your eyes, now facing forward and capable of perceiving a rich spectrum of color, are perfectly adapted for this task. You scan the landscape, not for logos or street signs, but for a splash of color against the greens and browns, their telltale sign of ripe fruit. A distant fig tree, heavy with its sweet, purple bounty, is a beacon of hope. The journey to that tree is a calculated risk. Every step in the open is a gamble. You reach the fig tree. The smell is intoxicating, a sweet, earthy perfume that promises a burst of life-giving calories. The branches are laden. It's a jackpot, but the garden is never truly safe. As you reach for another cluster of figs, a flicker of movement in the branches catches your eye. This is the constant negotiation of survival. The reward is always paired with a risk. The snake has claimed the tree for now. The figs are abandoned. The hunger, momentarily forgotten, returns. The ground itself offers its own bounty, hidden just beneath the surface or within fortresses of their own making. You find a long, slender twig. It's not quite right. You'd bring it to your mouth. For us, the idea might be unsettling, but for your ancestor self, this is a rich, nutritious meal. The fatty, protein-rich termites were a welcome reward, but they were an appetizer, not a feast. The deep, persistent ache of hunger remains. Your group needs a more substantial meal, a reliable source of calories that will see you through the cold night and fuel the next day. This is where a different kind of knowledge becomes critical. Using a sharp-edged stone you find nearby, you begin to work on it, scraping and breaking one end to form a crude but effective point. This is more than just tool use. It's tool manufacturing. It is foresight. You are shaping the world to meet your needs. You might use that same sharp stone to scrape away the thick, earthy skin, revealing a starchy, pale interior. The sun dips lower, painting the sky in fiery strokes of orange and purple. The golden light of the afternoon, the light of relative safety, is fading. It's being replaced by the long, deep shadows of dusk. This is the liminal time, the time of transition. Low to the ground, its spotted coat is the perfect camouflage for the dappled light of dusk. The tubers are forgotten, the digging sticks dropped. It's a desperate, frantic scramble for the only sanctuary you have. The trees. You run, your heart a frantic drum against your ribs. You can feel the predator's presence behind you, a wave of predatory intent. You reach the nearest acacia tree and launch yourself upwards, your long arms and powerful legs finding perches on the rough bark. You climb with a desperate speed you didn't know you possessed, not stopping until you are high in the branches, your knuckles white as you grip the wood. It is not a giant like a saber-toothed cat, but it is a perfect primate killer, powerful, stealthy, and an expert climber. It makes a half-hearted leap, its claws scraping the trunk, a terrifying reminder that even here, you are not entirely safe. But the tree is large, the branches are high. For now, the predator seems to decide it's not worth the effort. With a final, frustrated snarl, it melts back into the growing darkness of the savanna. Its eyes, glowing amber in the failing light, are fixed on your group. It sees not a gathering of intelligent, social beings. It sees a meal. It sees vulnerable, slow-moving prey, exposed in the open. The daytime birds are falling silent, and the hunters of the night are beginning to stir. You take a bite. It's tough, fibrous, and takes a lot of chewing. The taste is bland, earthy. Every rustle, every snap of a twig now carries a new weight, a potential threat. The immediate danger is past, but the fear lingers. The moon begins to rise, casting a pale, ethereal light on the world below. Down there, in the grass, are the scattered tubers, the fruits of your hard labor, now abandoned. You have survived, but your hunger remains. The night is long, and it belongs to the hunters. Your troop will spend the hours until dawn huddled together in the relative safety of the high canopy, a small, fragile island of warmth and life in a vast and dangerous world. The day's foraging is over, a stark lesson in the eternal balance sheet of existence, where every calorie gained is weighed against the risk of becoming calories for something else, a sound that makes every muscle in your body tense and freeze. It's a low, guttural cough, carrying on the wind from the tall grass at the edge of the clearing. It's a sound that is woven into your DNA, a sound that screams danger. Instantly, all digging stops. Every head snaps up. You are a sea of wide, terrified eyes, all staring in the same direction. The playful chattering of the young ones ceases. The silence is absolute, heavy, and full of dread. Your group works faster, an unspoken urgency rippling through you. Your head is down, your attention focused on the earth, but your ears are on high alert, constantly sampling the soundscape. But it is a dense package of complex carbohydrates. It is slow-release energy, the kind of fuel that can sustain a large, energy-hungry brain. It's no coincidence that as our ancestors' brains began to grow, their teeth also show evidence of eating more of these tough, gritty, underground foods. This humble root is a cornerstone of your survival, a reliable fallback when the sweet, easy fruits are out of season or too dangerous to reach. With your digging stick ready, you kneel and begin to work at the base of the plant. Not just the sharp-eyed opportunism of spotting fruit, but the deep, memorized knowledge of the land itself. Your brain, though small by modern standards, is a living map of seasons, of water sources, and of food. It's a map passed down not through writing, but through observation, through watching your elders, through a lifetime of trial and error. You scan the ground, not for insects this time, but for the telltale leaves and stems of specific plants. Many of the plants here are useless, some are even poisonous. A mistaken identification could mean sickness or death, but you know what you're looking for. Your gaze settles on a patch of low-lying vegetation with tough, fibrous leaves. To an untrained eye, it's just another patch of scrub. To you, it's a promise. The real treasure is not what you see, but what you know lies beneath. You need a better tool for this job. The slender termite fishing twig is useless here. You find a fallen branch, thick and heavy. This isn't easy work. The ground is hard, baked by the sun into a clay-like crust. You put your body weight into it, driving the point of the stick into the earth again and again, grunting with the effort. Other members of your group do the same, turning a patch of earth into a cooperative excavation site. Your fingers, strong and sensitive, probe the loosened soil, feeling for your prize, and then you find it. You pull it from the ground, a gnarled, dirt-caked object, an underground storage organotuber. It looks like a lump of dirt and fiber, utterly unappetizing to our modern palate. But this is one of the most important foods in your world. As your group focuses on the difficult task of unearthing these tubers, the world around you is changing. The air grows cooler. A breeze whispers through the tall savanna grass, making it hiss and sway, and then you hear it. A sound that is not the wind. From the swaying grass, a shape emerges. It moves with a fluid, muscular grace that is terrifying in its efficiency. A leopard, a chorus of sharp, piercing alarm calls erupts from your group, a cacophony of pure terror. Chaos ensues. Below, the leopard paces at the base of the tree, its gaze sweeping over the branches, evaluating. You huddle in the high branches, trembling, listening to the frantic beating of your own heart. The night is a long and terrifying ordeal. Perched precariously in the branches of the acacia, sleep comes only in short, fitful bursts. Every rustle of leaves below, every distant cry, sends a fresh jolt of adrenaline through your system. The group moves with a renewed sense of purpose, but the caution from the night before remains. The world feels different at this hour. The air is misty, and the light is soft, but the long shadows still hold unseen threats. The failed harvest of yesterday means you are starting the day with a significant calorie deficit. You are a generalist. If the fruits are unavailable and the roots are too dangerous, there are other options. Your attention turns back to the stream. Where there is water, there is life, and not just the kind that comes to drink. You wade into the shallows, the cool water swirling around your ankles. You decide to follow the tracks at a safe distance. But the other hominins didn't kill it. Lying a short distance away is the true hunter, a saber-toothed cat. They are butchering it, a chaotic but effective process. This is a game changer. This is not a handful of termites or a tough root. You watch as the other group eats their fill, tearing at the flesh with their bare hands and crude stone tools. They are nervous, constantly looking over their shoulders. Claiming a carcass is a dangerous business. The smell of blood travels far and will attract other, more powerful predators like hyenas. They know they don't have much time. Eventually, they take what they can carry and retreat, melting back into the forest. This is meat, the most calorie-dense, nutrient-rich food source available on the savanna. It is the ultimate prize. The air is thick with tension. Every shadow seems to hold a new threat. You reach the carcass. There isn't much left, but it's more than you've had in days. Bones with scraps of meat and marrow still clinging to them. The organs, rich in vitamins, have been left behind. This is your reward for patience, for observation, and for daring to enter the high-stakes world of meat. Perhaps a Dinophilis, its massive, canine teeth still stained red, but it, too, is dead. There are signs of a violent struggle. The antelope's horns are broken, and the cat has a deep, gaping wound in its side. It seems the prey got in one last, fatal blow before succumbing. A double death, a tragedy for the animals, but for a scavenger, an unbelievable stroke of luck. You move through a patch of riverine forest, the canopy thicker here, the air more humid. The tracks lead you to a clearing, and there you see them. The other group, they are gathered around something on the ground. The smell hits you first, the rich, coppery scent of blood. Your eyes scan the sandy bottom, looking for the telltale shape of a freshwater mussel or a snail clinging to a submerged rock. The group needs to find food, and quickly, but where to look? It's a meager offering, but it's something. It's protein, it's a vital but the instinct, the craving for this high-quality food is overwhelming. The smell alone is enough to make your stomach ache with a desperate, sharp hunger. This is the moment where a critical evolutionary shift is taking place. You are not just a passive fruit picker or a patient insect gatherer. You are learning to be an active, strategic scavenger. You are learning to read the signs of the hunt, to follow the true predators, and to capitalize on their successes and their failures. Tracks in the mud. They are not the paw prints of a leopard or the hooves of an antelope. They are the tracks of another hominin group. They are not from your troop. This is a significant discovery. The world is not empty. You have neighbors and competitors. A series of calls passes through your group, a discussion in a language of grunts and gestures. Do you follow them? Avoid them? Resources are finite. Another group in the area means more competition for the same fruit trees, the same termite mounds, the same patches of tubers. Nearby, another member of the group has overturned a rotting log near the water's edge, exposing a writhing nest of grubs and beetle larvae. Again, to our sensibilities, it's grotesque. To your ancestor self, it's a high-energy windfall. You scoop up a handful and eat them quickly, before they can burrow back into the damp wood. This is opportunistic foraging at its finest. It's about recognizing every possible source of nutrition the environment offers, no matter how small or unappealing it might seem. The fig tree is likely still guarded by the pufferdaw. The tuber field is in the heart of the leopard's territory. Returning there is a risk you're not willing to take just yet. A new strategy is needed. You move in a tight, watchful cluster, the adults forming a protective ring around the more vulnerable young ones. The moon traces its slow arc across the stardusted sky, a silent, indifferent witness to your struggle. The cold seeps into your bones, a stark contrast to the oppressive heat of the day. Huddled together with your troop, you share body heat, a small comfort in the vast, exposed darkness. The gnawing hunger in your belly is a constant, dull ache, a reminder of the abandoned tubers and the leopard that still patrols this territory. As the first hint of dawn bleeds into the eastern sky, a collective sigh of relief seems to pass through the group. The predators of the night will soon retreat to their dens, and the world will, for a time, become marginally safer. Slowly, cautiously, you begin to descend from your arboreal refuge. The relief is immediate and profound. As you drink, your eyes are constantly scanning. The water's edge is a dangerous place. It draws all animals, predator and prey alike. A flash of movement in the reeds downstream makes you freeze, but it's only a wading bird taking flight. You drink your fill quickly, not lingering any longer than necessary. Your feet touch the damp earth, and you stand on shaky legs, muscles stiff and sore from the long, tense night. The first order of business is not food, but water. The exertions of the previous day and the terror of the night have left you dark. Your internal map guides you. You know there is a stream not far from here, a ribbon of life that snakes through the savanna. You reach the stream and drop to your knees at its edge, cupping the cool, clear water in your hands and bringing it to your lips. With your thirst quenched, the hunger returns with a vengeance. This is where the incredible flexibility of the hominin diet becomes your greatest asset. You are not a specialist. You find a cluster of them. Using a rock as a simple hammerstone, you crack open the hard shells, revealing the small, tender morsel of flesh inside. As you forage along the stream bank, you notice something else. Your curiosity. Another hallmark of the burgeoning hominin mind gets the better of you. As you creep closer, peering through the dense foliage, the scene comes into focus. A small antelope lies dead on the ground. The other hominin group is frantically using sharp-edged stones to slice away pieces of meat from the antelope carcass. Your group watches from the shadows, a mixture of envy and fear. The other group is bigger, more numerous. A direct confrontation would be foolish. You wait. Patience is a scavenger's greatest virtue. Now is your chance. Your group emerges from the trees, moving quickly and quietly towards the remains. You fall upon the carcass with a desperate urgency. There is no time for ceremony. This is a smash-and-grab operation, a race against the clock and the ever-present threat of other scavengers. Your teeth evolve for grinding tough plant matter, struggle with the unfamiliar texture of raw meat, but the reward is immense. You find a long bone, a femur from the antelope. It's too thick to break with your hands. You look around and find a large, heavy cobble. The sentry lets out a sharp, guttural bark. Your head snaps up. Marrow forgotten. They are coming. You grab what you can, a few ribs with meat still attached, a piece of the hide, and you run. The hyenas descend on the carcass with a frenzy of snapping jaws and guttural growls. The sound of bones crunching carrying through the air as you retreat to a safe distance. A pack of spotted hyenas loping towards you with their distinctive, rolling gait. The meat is tough, the hide even tougher, but it is sustenance. The patient work of digging for tubers, abandoned in a moment of sheer terror. The need to spot a ripe fruit from a camouflaged snake drove the evolution of your keen eyesight. The challenge of extracting termites and tubers spurred the development of tool use and foresight. The cognitive demands of mapping a vast landscape, of remembering food locations across seasons, and of navigating the complex social dynamics of cooperation and competition laid the groundwork for a more complex mind, and the high-energy payoff from meat and marrow provided the raw fuel for that mind to grow, to forge new connections, to dream up new solutions. You are not just what you eat, you are how you eat. The daily struggle for dinner wasn't just a chore, it was the engine of your own evolution, the very process that was slowly, painstakingly, turning a clever ape into the first human. The day is far from over, and the question will soon rise again. What's for dinner? But now, with a full stomach and the lessons of the day fresh in your mind, you are better equipped than ever to answer it. The small, vital snacks of insects and mollusks by the stream, and finally, the incredible, risky bounty of meat and marrow stolen from the jaws of death. This is the hominin diet. It is not one thing, it is everything. It is a testament to the adaptability, the ingenuity, and the sheer resilience of a small, upright ape trying to make its way in a world of giants. As you chew, you watch the hyenas finish their work. They leave nothing behind. It's another stark lesson in the savanna's brutal economy. Find it first, eat it fast, and be ready to run. Their eerie whooping calls echo across the plains. They are the cleanup crew of the savanna, specialists in bone crushing and intimidation. You have water in your belly, and for the first time in what feels like an eternity, you have meat. The immediate, desperate edge of hunger has been blunted. The group is calmer now, more relaxed. The younger members chase each other over the rocks, their playful energy restored. For a moment, there is a sense of peace, of accomplishment. You have faced the dangers of the night, the perils of the water's edge, and the competition of the kill site. You have won. They saw the same circling vultures you did. They smelled the same blood on the wind, and they have come to claim their share. It's a life lived on the knife's edge, where a single decision can mean the difference between a full belly and becoming a meal yourself. You look out over the vast, shimmering expanse of the savanna. It is your home. It is your larder. It is your enemy. It is everything. Gripping the bone with one hand, you'll bring the stone down hard, again and again. The crack, when it comes, is sharp and final. The bone splits open, revealing the glistening, fatty marrow inside. This is pure, concentrated energy. It's brain food. Many scientists believe that this act is simple. Ingenious act of cracking open a bone to access the rich marrow inside was one of the most critical steps in our evolution. It provided the massive caloric surplus needed to fuel the explosive growth of the hominin brain. Each mouthful is a burst of rich, savory flavor, packed with fat and iron and the essential nutrients your body has been craving. This is a level of nourishment that fruits and tubers simply cannot provide. The coppery scent of blood is a potent lure, a dinner bell that rings 4 miles across the savanna. Your group works with frantic, cooperative energy. One member stands sentry, constantly scanning the perimeter, while the others use sharp-edged rocks to scrape the last precious strips of meat from the bones. For these few, fleeting moments, you are no longer a starving forager cowering in a tree, but a successful scavenger, reaping the rewards of a dangerous world. The taste of the marrow is the taste of survival, the taste of a future where a bigger brain might just be the key to overcoming the dangers that surround you. Your fingers, so adept at plucking fruit and probing for insects, now work to tear sinew and muscle. Then comes the most important prize of all, the marrow. You use a smaller stone flake or a twig to scoop out the precious marrow, a greasy, intensely flavorful substance that coats your tongue and satisfies a deep, primal hunger. But the savanna is never truly generous. It always demands a price. There is no thought of fighting them. They are too numerous, too powerful, their jaws capable of pulverizing the very bones you just struggled to crack. You find a rocky outcrop, a small, defensible position to eat your stolen treasures. The sun is high in the sky now, beating down on the landscape. This is the rhythm of your life, a constant oscillation between fear and relief, hunger and satisfaction. You think back on the last 24 hours, the sweet burst of the figs, tainted by the silent threat of the snake. You didn't just eat to survive. The very act of finding and processing this diverse range of foods was shaping you, changing you. With your bellies full of meat and marrow, a sense of quiet settles over the group. The frantic energy of the morning has given way to a more contemplative state. You observe one of the youngsters using a small stone to bang on a larger one, a faint echo of the bone-cracking you performed earlier. Another mimics the act of peering into a crevice, just as they saw an adult do to find grubs. This is culture in its nascent, form-learned behaviors transmitted socially. The comfortable lethargy of a full stomach gives way to a familiar restlessness. You cannot stay here forever. This rocky outcrop, while defensible, a silent consensus reached through gestures and shared understanding. You will head back towards the riverine forest. It offers better climbing trees for sanctuary at night. The foraging continues, but it is a more casual, supplementary affair. The largest male in your group responds not with aggression, but with a display of his own, stamping his feet and shaking a branch. The landscape is filled with competitors, other intelligent, social animals who are also trying to carve out a living. Navigating these relationships requires social intelligence, the ability to read intentions, to display threats, and to know when to fight and when to retreat. You find a comfortable fork in the branches and settle in, surrounded by the familiar warmth and scent of your family. You are not starving. You are not fleeing in terror. You have a full belly, a safe place to sleep, and the quiet satisfaction of a successful day. You look up through the leaves at the first stars beginning to appear. Down below, the world is once again surrendering to the hunters of the night. You can hear the distant whoop of a hyena and the chuff of a leopard. The dangers are still there. They will always be there. But tonight, you are safe. You have used your hands, your tools, and your growing mind to outwit the challenges of your world. You have eaten from the full spectrum of the hominin menu, from the sweet fruits and humble roots to the risky, rewarding flesh of the scavenged kill. And in doing so, you have taken one more small, crucial step on the immense journey of becoming human. This social chess match is yet another selective pressure, favoring individuals and groups with more sophisticated cognitive and communicative skills. It is a negotiation of space and intent. It is not a fight to the death, but a complex primate dialogue. They are tall, with broad, strong branches ideal for a sleeping spot. The sun is now touching the horizon, setting the sky ablaze once more. Before you ascend for the night, there is one last task. You gather a few of the large, tough leaves from a nearby plant. Using your hands and teeth, you fold and mash them, creating a crude, soft wad. You dip this into the stream and bring the sopping vegetation to your mouth, squeezing the water out. You have made a sponge. It's a simple but brilliant innovation, allowing you to carry water away from the dangerous stream bank and drink in greater safety. After a tense standoff, the baboon seems to decide your group is too numerous to challenge. He gives a final guttural bark and moves off, disappearing into the undergrowth. You are topping up, not starting from scratch. A young one spots a bird's nest in a low-hanging branch. An adult deftly climbs up and retrieves a few small, speckled eggs. They are cracked open and the rich, liquid yolk is lapped up another perfect package of protein and fat. You pass a patch of familiar-looking berries. You taste one cautiously. It's sour, not as sweet as the figs, but it's edible and provides a burst of vitamin C. You eat a few and move on, and the stream promises water in the morning. The journey back is different from the frantic, fear-driven movements of the previous day. Low-level gathering is a crucial part of your dietary strategy. It's about snacking, about diversifying your nutritional intake. A large, solitary male baboon is sitting on a rock, watching your groups approach. He is formidable, with long, sharp canine teeth and powerful shoulders. He is not a predator in the same way a leopard is, but he is a direct competitor. He forages for the same roots, fruits, and insects that you do. A confrontation would be dangerous and costly for both sides, and about reinforcing that mental map of resources. Every edible plant, every insect nest, every patch of berries is a data point, logged and stored for future reference. Your survival depends not on a single food source, but on this broad and flexible portfolio of options. You move with a purpose that is less about desperation and more about strategy. Has no long-term supply of food or water. Your internal clock, governed by the rhythms of the sun and the needs of your body, tells you it is time to move. The goal is to find a safe place to spend the night, preferably one with a morning meal nearby. The map of the world, the encyclopedia of edible plants, the techniques for tool use, the identity of predators. None of this is encoded in your genes. It must be learned. And this post-meal downtime is the primary school of the Pliocene. This period of satiation is just as crucial as the hunt itself. It's a time for rest, for social bonding, and for the quiet processing of the day's events. Holding the flake carefully, you use the hammerstone to chip away a tiny piece from the edge. A new, sharper facet is created. You do it again and again. You are not just using a tool anymore, you are refining it. This is a cognitive leap. It requires planning, fine motor control, and an understanding of cause and effect, core principles of technology. This small act of retouching a stone flake is a quiet revolution, a step towards the more systematic and sophisticated toolkits of later hominids. You are shaping your destiny, one tiny chip at a time. The young ones, no longer driven by the sharp pangs of hunger, engage in play chasing, tumbling, and mimicking the foraging behaviors of their elders. This is not mere fun. It is a classroom. It's how the vital knowledge of survival is passed from one generation to the next. You watch them, chewing thoughtfully on a tough piece of hide. Your gaze drifts back to the leftovers from your scavenged meal. You pick up one of the sharp-edged stones you used to slice the meat. It feels good in your hand. It's a simple flake, created opportunistically when one rock was struck against another. But as you turn it over, a new thought, a flicker of innovation, sparks in your mind. The edge is already dulling from use. What if you could make it better? You find another hard, round river stone. The sun begins its slow descent from its zenith, and the heat of the day starts to wane. The group gathers along the way. This constant. As you near the edge of the woodland, you come across a sight that gives you pause. There is a moment of tension. The male baboon displays his teeth in a classic threat. Yawn. This interaction is a reminder that the dangers you face are not just from classic predators. You finally reach the stand of trees you were aiming for. As darkness envelops the savanna, you climb into your chosen tree. The world of our early ancestors was one of constant challenge, where every meal was a victory and every day survived was a triumph. Their diverse and flexible diet wasn't just about nutrition. It was the driving force behind the evolution of our bodies, our tools, and our incredible brains. The reliable roots, the quick energy fruits, or the game-changing introduction of meat. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and consider subscribing to the channel for more explorations into the story of us. Stay curious, keep asking questions, and never forget the incredible resilience and ingenuity that is woven into our shared human story. I'd love to hear what you think about this incredible journey, from the fear of a snake in a fruit tree to the thrill of a scavenged carcass. These experiences are written into the deepest parts of who we are. What do you think was the most important food for our early ancestors? And if you found this glimpse into our deep past as fascinating as I do, please give this video a like. Thank you for joining me on this journey back in time.